I'm watching my time. Food pantry. Last but not least, most important, we are very thankful that you have adopted us, that you put in time with us once a month. We think that's great. We partner with all kinds of groups in the community to fill our pantry, but you're the only group that's actually willing to come and work in our pantry, so that's important. The food pantry, I don't know if you, some of you I know were there before our remodeling, but last year in April we opened a brand new food pantry. We undertook this huge remodeling project, moved the pantry to the other side of the building from where it originally was, more than doubled its size compared to what it was. And the reason for that was we converted from being an old-fashioned food pantry where we packed the food and you got what we gave you, to being what's called a client choice model. And it's made a huge difference for the recipients of the food. The client choice model is exactly what it sounds like. It's like a mini grocery store, and I'm sure if you haven't seen it yet, you'll see it next Wednesday. But the clients are given a shopping list when they check in with us upstairs, and the shopping list is in order of the shelves. So the first thing on the list is condiments, right? That's the first shelf you see when you walk in. Second shelf is peanut butter, second item on the list. Then jelly, then tomato products, and on it goes in the U shape that the clients shop. So the clients are giving a shopping list with different items per category based on their family size. So we have 3 lists, one for 1 to 2 people, a second one for 3 to 4 in your family, and a third list for 5 and above. And the amount of food they get varies based on how many are in their family. They go through, they shop. We have a volunteer who acts as a cashier who helps them check out, so to speak. She'll check off the list compared to what they've chosen, helps them bag the client, and off they go. We currently run 11 shifts in the food pantry, 5 days a week. Wednesday has AM, PM, and then a middle shift, which we call the swing shift, to cover our bus riders. Because a lot of our seniors who ride the senior bus come in for food. And it just works out that the senior bus needs to drop off the seniors for shopping during that lunch hour, 11 to 1. So we run a third shift on Wednesday to cover that. But basically, we need at least 4 volunteers every shift to keep the pantry up and running. On shopping days, we like to use 5 to 6 volunteers just to make sure we have enough hands on deck. And then on the non-shopping days, volunteers do what you guys do, similar when you come on Wednesday nights. There's one volunteer assigned to be the cashier to check out the clients. There's a second volunteer called the floater who helps the client shop because we're on a real tight schedule. We put through 40 to 45 families in less than 2 hours. So you got to move with that 15 minutes to get everybody through and shop so that people can behind them come through. The floater also answers questions. They communicate with the prep room where you guys mark the donations and say, hey, this green bean shelf is low. Can you bring me out some green beans? They do those kinds of things. They pitch in with the cashier. And then the third job description, if you will, is the prep room. I have 3 minutes. I'm almost done. The prep room does what you guys do. You take in the donations, you check the expiration dates, right? We make a pile for pads of all the expired food. You mark the UPC code so that we know when the expiration is. You sort it. If it needed on the shelf, you get it out to the shelves in the outer pantry. If we don't need it on the shelf, you case it up and put it on the pile there in the prep room. So we run those shifts even when the non-shopping days are open. And the other thing that the clients, that the volunteers do on non-shopping days is they pack all the emergency bags. Right now our food pantry is open all day Tuesday, AM and PM, AM Wednesday, AM Thursday. So that leaves all day Monday, all day Friday, and Wednesday, Thursday, PM, where it's closed to shopping. So the volunteers pack these emergency bags so that if somebody comes in on a shift that we're closed to shopping, one of the caseworkers will give them an emergency bag, which is enough food for a couple of days, and then they'll give them an appointment to come back on the very next day that we're open for shopping. Because obviously they're going to get more if they shop, they're going to get what their kids like when they shop, versus us just giving them a bag and saying you have to eat what we decided. So that's a huge help, and we're able to then serve people all 5 days that we're open 9 to 4:30. You can always get food. We don't turn anybody away for food, even if you don't live in our township, even if you're over income. If you walk into my office and say I need food, you get a minimum of an emergency bag. That's our policy, and we stand by that. The emergency, the food pantry is its own 501c3, the Wheeling Township Emergency Fund. It encompasses the food pantry And our last 13th program that I haven't mentioned, our Angel Fund. If you donate money for the food pantry, it goes in the food pantry account. If you donate money to help people but undesignated for food, it goes into the Angel Fund account. And those funds are used to supplement families in crisis or to help a family who maybe didn't qualify for one of those other programs. So when you look on the back of this at the income guidelines, the state and federally funded programs are very strict. If you're even a penny over 150%, we can't help you. But the other programs that we administer, like Salvation Army, like the Angel Fund, the Food Pantry, Access to Care, where we can have a little bit more discretion, we're able to help people all the way up to 200% of poverty, which can make a huge difference because these are your working families that are struggling every day, got to make the car payments so no money for groceries kind of families. So it's a much broader scale of who we can help and therefore encompass more people within our community that come and get different programs from us. So when you think about the food pantry, it is 100% run without one penny from your tax dollars. And we're very proud of that. Other than the space that the township donates and the staff time once in a while checking on volunteers, because we run, I think currently I have 36 volunteers working those 11 shifts, not counting you guys at night. It's completely self-sufficient. We get all of our donations from the community, which we're super thankful for. We take the monies that people donate to us and we buy food from the Greater Chicago Food Depository or from Aldi's if we need to, and we can use those funds aside from your tax dollars to keep the pantry up and running, to keep the community fed. So, great program, and we're very happy that you're a part of it. And just to give you an idea, prior to us switching to the client choice model, the pantry averaged around 150 visits per month. Now we're averaging over 400 visits a month. Since they opened, there's only been 1 month that we didn't hit the 400 mark, and it was like 389 or something. So the need is being met as evidenced by more people coming to use it because they like it better, because they can choose what their family needs, and because then we can really make a difference by knowing they've gone away, help them with something their kids will eat instead of just, cream. Any questions? Yes.
If I was going to contribute $50 to help families, would you rather wrote a $50 check to the food pantry, wrote a $50 check to the Angel Fund, took $50 to Aldi's, bought the food, and brought you the food, or something else?
It depends what time of year it is.
Okay.
If it's in the summer, I would prefer you go to Aldi's, buy the food, and bring it to me.
Okay.
Because the summer is always our leanest time in the pantry. It's like a double whammy. You have schools out, so all the connections to food drives we have through schools, through scouts, through those types of things are gone. And then you have an increase in usage because all those kids who get free lunch at school now have to eat at home. So mom and dad are spending more or struggling more to feed all those kids. So in the summer, our donations drop and our usage skyrockets. So if it's June, July, August, even September to some extent, I'd say I want the food.
Okay.
Holiday season, which I'm very thankful for, and I always say to myself, good problem to have, good problem to have. We have all these generous companies and groups and organizations that do these huge food drives, and then we're overrun with food and we have nowhere to put it. You may have seen that last month when we had food all down the hallway, which was a total fire hazard, but we had nowhere to put it. Good problem to have, I'm not complaining. But if it's like, October, November, December, January, I won't want physical food because we have storage issues. Even though we doubled our size, we have workspace and we have shopping space, but we don't have like a hide there till we can get to its space. So in those winter months, I would say I would prefer a cash donation. In either way, I mean, if food is your way to help the community, then just write Wheeling Township Food Pantry on the check. If a check comes in and just says Wheeling Township, or if it says obviously Wheeling Township Angel Fund, then that's where it gets funneled, because then those funds can be used for gas bills, electric bills, rent, things of that nature.
Who makes the decisions on the distributions from the Angel Fund?
The caseworkers give a recommendation to me. I review the documents. I review the eligibility that's been done by the caseworker. If I okay it, then it goes to the administrator, who we met before, Joe Salato, and she okays it.
Is there a limit on how much?
Yes, it's $400 once in a 12-month period. But like emergency assistance, we pay your need or our max, whichever is less. So if your utility bill only needs $285 to turn it back on, the Angel Fund will give you the $285, not the $400.
And do you give a check for $285 to the utility?
Yes.
Or to the family?
No, to the utility. We write all the checks in all of our programs to the vendor itself. No monies are dispersed to the clients.
Good answers. Thank you.
You're welcome. Another option, just to throw it out there for you, is gift cards. You know, if you want to buy food, but you don't want to love the food, you can buy gift cards for food. Those are always received great too. We use those to supplement, especially when we don't have meat products in the pantry.
Is there a preferred place for the food to get the food cards from?
Yeah, any place. Any other questions?
When would you be perishable? Obviously, it's a produce and things in the summer. But what about meat and things like that? I saw that you have a refrigerator.
We have two freezers. We have a freezer in the pantry itself, which was donated by one of our volunteers. And we have a food pantry only freezer in the staff kitchen upstairs. We don't currently have a refrigerator. We do have two shelves marked in our staff fridge, which are food pantry only. So we can accommodate a little bit. But like in the summer, when somebody brings a whole bushel of tomatoes, we try to get people to bring them to us on Monday so that by Friday we've given them all out. We don't have a refrigerator problem. We're hoping to be able to buy a refrigerator for the pantry in the future, but the food depository has certain regulations that we have to meet before we can do that. And we will be 1 year with them at the end of this month.
Like restrictions like that.
Well, because you have to buy the freezers or the fridges through them. So it's like, you know, you have to be a member for 1 year. They look at the poundage that you purchase throughout the year. They look at your need for perishables. It's like a formula that they use. And then they tell you, yes, you're qualified to apply to buy a refrigerator, or no, you're not. So, oh yeah, we take a donated fridge in a heartbeat, no problem. Maybe know somebody at app to put it in the board for
I
us.
just thought, maybe if they didn't allow you to have one, because you had to get it.
Right, no, that's the regulations to get it through them at a significant cost. Any other questions? Okay, thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
I believe Steve started the ball rolling with this project, and Larry has carried it through. So kudos to Julie, Larry, and any of you or all of you that have been there to help out, because it's a fantastic project. Rotary does everything the world over. Our Mary Stitt is certainly evidence of that. But this is certainly a project that's close to home and helping people right here in our community. So I think it's something that we can be proud of. So, and just a sidebar, I read 2 days ago. I'm one of several of us. I know that we're very depressed. I think a couple, 3 times ago when we were there, and almost all the food that we were marking was expired. And I know you have an outlet for it, but just so everyone knows, I read in Consumer Reports just the other day that if it's canned food and it's expired, it doesn't mean that it's bad and it can't be consumed. It just means that it's beyond the manufacturer's date that says it can be considered fresh. After that, the freshness may deteriorate, but it's not going to be harmful unless the can is damaged. So while it was depressing at the time, I felt a little bit better about it. That it's actually not going away. So thanks, Julie. Thanks everyone for coming tonight. Board members, I need about a minute of your time to discuss something very quickly.
Thank you so much.
Very good.
Does it feel like